Meanwhile, at the wedding of Destiny and Mystique, Mystique and Destiny exchange vows.
Destiny, it's been a long, long road for us to get here. And I vow to you.
All right,
I know you know what I'm going to say, but I didn't say it yet. Just calm down a second. It's been a long road, but you know what? I knew the moment I saw you that you were the one. All right, can you let me finish something?
Oh, how we could bring down the stars together.
Oh, let me say it first. God damn it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Also, it's just now that we have our children together with us and they can see our love. Stop crying. I didn't even get to it yet, bitch. Come on. All right. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, fine. Whatever. And in the words of our favorite poet,
Melissa Etheridge, come to my window. Oh, dear, that's poetic. Listen, you're not going to make me come tonight. It's not you, it's me, dear.
All right, let's just, here, just throw the damn bouquet and let's get to fucking.
I threw it 5 minutes ago.
Oh my God, I had to do a quick change.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Welcome. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Welcome to episode 302 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Brett.
And I'm oh shit. And I'm EvilJeff. It's just so weird. Now that we see each other, it's like a whole different world. If you are listening on the podcast still, just to let you know, this is also a video podcast that you can see on YouTube. And I'm all befuddled and trying to figure out all the new bells and whistles that we can do now that it's video.
I will say you've got so many bells and whistles that I'm so excited that you've brought to the show. This is like, I can't believe I'm doing a show with the EvilJeff from Awe. Like now I'm like, okay, now let's fucking go. Somebody actually who still listens to the audio said that they've noticed like we're more in sync because we're looking at each other while recording.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Which is something we never did before.
I mean, that's interesting. It's only been 2 episodes and they were already able to notice that.
Well, they're a super fan.
But we have a lot. We have, oh my God, I already fucking up because...
Oh, yeah, we haven't introduced the topic yet. Yeah.
The topic hasn't even come up yet. And this is, you know what? We're in the wild, wild west of YouTube right now. And it will all get better as things go along.
This is what happens when you try to produce and do the show at the same time. Like we need a...
yeah. I'm trying to do it all. Like, fuck it, we'll do it live. I'm trying to do that because it means less editing for me.
You're like one of those street performers that's got like a big drum on his back and like cymbals on his ankles and like, you know, a kazoo. You know, he's like doing everything at once.
Okay, as someone who lived in Chicago in the 2000s, did you ever run into
Bottle Cap Man?
No, the woman who had the tap shoes, the violin attached to her neck and the guitar?
No.
And she would like tap 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 and like play all these like flamenco songs.
She was a triple threat.
I threw money at her anytime she was playing by a subway. I was like, you're amazing.
You know who I do remember? Well, we had the puppet booth in Andersonville, the guy that lived in the puppet booth and did the who knows what was lurking underneath that puppet booth. But we also had in the loop, the lady that did Tina Turner, the Tina Turner impersonator. Did you ever see her?
No, I haven't.
Oh, she was great.
There was also, I remember when I would be in Boys Town, whenever I'd be like walking between like from like Spin to like side tracks, there would be some like 300-pound gay homeless man. And he would just be laying like this, like on the sidewalk.
I remember.
And he'd go, "Do you got a nickel?" And you're like, "No." And he's like, "I'll suck your dick." And I miss him.
I miss him. One time he said, "Do you got a nipple?" And I said, don't you mean nickel? He went, "No."
And he's like, "I don't have any." And he lifted it up and it was just bare.
Right, like Kyle XY, but nipples instead of a belly button.
Belly button.
Yeah.
That poor guy. He came out and then he never got anything ever again.
Well, it gets worse after you come out. I don't know about this. It gets better crap.
Well, that actually brings up something that I want to talk about. Should we hit our first topic?
Let's do it.
And he was all like, and then she was all like, and then they were all like, and I was all like, what? And we're all like, oh my God, we are here to talk about some hot topics. We're not doing hot topics because it's episode 300. We have new transitions, new titles, and sometimes we didn't have a hot topic, but we do have shit we want to bitch about or talk about. I just want to bitch. So can I go first?
Go ahead, bitch.
It's June 1st and it's
Happy Pride. Oh my God.
Happy Pride. And I am having trouble getting I need to get there's something about I've always been that gay being like, a parade, a rainbow, corporate sponsors.
Yeah.
But I know it's all wonderful that we have this acceptance.
Right. We get a whole month.
I know, but part of me hates it.
Why? It's so much pressure.
It's pressure, but also sometimes you get there's a lot of like performative stuff of it. And also this is what it all comes down to is that I do find it's very hard to accessorize a rainbow.
Yes, thank you.
And I want some more I want to find a way to make, and as someone who has like a rainbow bedspread, it's hard to I just every time it's kind of like when you see an American flag on someone's front porch, you're almost like, oh, they're probably MAGA.
Crazy.
But when you see someone wearing an outfit covered in rainbow flags, I'm kind of like, they're probably a lot to talk to. Oh, hot?
Oh, no.
See, that's what I need to get to where you are.
No, I am not. Please, that was a bit.
I feel like I think I'm bitter. I think that's
if I see anybody wearing an American flag, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to die one day. Stop taking life so seriously.
Yeah. But there's a part of me that has that same thing with the pride flag.
You think people wearing the flag at Pride is like the equivalent to straight people wearing the American flag?
But here's the thing. But I know that that's wrong. And I know it's all stems from me being like jaded and bitter. And it's mostly when I see young people being like, I'm gay and I love it. And we're all queer and everything's great. And I'm like, no, it's not.
You know who makes Pride parades insufferable? Young people wearing rainbow colors. I will say, like, young people with their dealy boppers and their face stickers. I'm like, just relax, okay? Pride should be about kink, not this love shit.
Pride should be about kink and lesbians breaking up because it's the first time they've gone out in public for a while.
Lesbians breaking up on motorcycles. Yes.
That's
what Pride is about.
Yeah. And I do think it is the problem of we were duped because it's going on. It'll be next year. It'll be 15 years of a little thing called the It Gets Better initiative. Remember that? That was 2010. It gets better. And now we are like 15 years later and the world's ending. And so part of me is like, I know we need to have pride and I know we need to fight and all of that stuff. But I also, but in the end, I also, when it's like the new, look at the new Target Pride collection. I'm like, bleh.
Well, they're scaling back. You should be happy now, Grinch. They're Pride Grinch. They're scaling back. Target is not allowed.
Like, so you don't support gay people? But then when they did, I'm like, oh my God, this is bullshit. Like, basically I'm saying is I am a Grinch and I want to find my joy.
The Pride wave is like cresting back. And when Pride was peaking, I was all like, this is too much. And now that it's scaling back, I'm all like, why y'all so homophobic again?
That's the thing is like, I get mad when we're overexposed, but as soon as they try to take an ounce of it away, I'm like angry. But at the same time, at LA Pride, do you know who's performing for LA Pride?
It better be, I don't know, Kim Petras. I don't know.
Kylie Minogue.
Wow.
Kylie Minogue at LA Pride. And so people are like, are you going? And I'm like, no. Do you know how insane it's going to be?
Insane.
I'm too old to just be like, ugh. And then these young people being like, what's this song? Get out of my way. What song is that? I'm like,
you can't get you out of my brain. What?
Play the Padam Padam song. And you're like, she's made so many hits.
Like, I just saw on Twitter, somebody was like, I'm just discovering 1993 RuPaul. I'm like, that's just RuPaul.
You know what? That's it. Go. You want to just feel depressed? Go look up a video of a Gen Zer trying to use a rotary phone, and it's very depressing.
I don't need to see that. I'm just depressed anyway.
But what about you? What do you have to talk about?
What brings me joy is the movies, and I'm very excited for our next Marvel movie, which is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool 3, coming to theaters. I believe July. Like, I believe it's like in a month.
Yes.
Have you seen the Wolverine head popcorn bucket?
I haven't.
Inspired by the Dune bucket.
No. Oh, is it something you can put your dick in?
It feels like something you could like drop tons of loads in, because it's just Wolverine with this big gaping mouth.
Did you put it in? Look up.
Oh, there it is. Yep, we have a clip. Yeah, there it is. So you basically just take popcorn out of that mouth. Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I mean, they might as well just have
it's
him
so funny.
bent over in his gaping butthole. And
so that's my hot topic. That's what I want to talk about. Like, how do we feel about this Ryan Reynolds, like, very homoerotic approach to Deadpool? Like, now it's like even bled into the marketing and into his way of making fun of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, he's got the juxtaposition of Disney now. Yeah. So I feel like he's amping up on like the dirty, which is great.
Does that bother you?
I love it, but I feel like it bothers a lot of people.
I always feel it's in a thing of thumbing the nose at stuff, and I never feel that it's ever in any way being like homophobic or anything. I think it's more embracing that. Like, do you remember when the last movie came out and he got that gay dancer who dances in heels and got him to do that dance and dressed as Deadpool to Celine Dion?
Yes.
Like, that is something, the fact that he thought of that, that's the gayest thing I could ever think of.
Absolutely.
I feel he definitely has a gay camp aesthetic, and so I'm fine with it.
It's fun. I think our point is Ryan Reynolds is allowed to say it.
Yeah.
He's allowed to use the F word.
Yeah, and there's this weird thing where people say that all straight men would fuck Ryan Reynolds, and gay men wouldn't fuck Ryan Reynolds. And I'm in the camp of I've always wanted to fuck Ryan Reynolds.
Absolutely, always.
Yeah. Although I tried to show Joe, my partner, what's the one with him and Anna Faris? What's that movie? Do you remember the movie? Just Friends?
Amityville, just one of the, no.
I think it's Just Friends, maybe. Or
Just
something.
Friends, yeah.
Anyway, I love that movie because Anna Faris is so fucking funny in it. She plays like an obnoxious pop star. And he's doing his Ryan Reynolds thing where he's kind of an asshole to everybody. And I just remembered watching it in the 2000s. I'm like, oh my God, he's like just
groundbreaking.
He's so snarky and hot. And I showed it to Joe, like, and he had never seen it before. And he's like, he's an asshole. And I was like,
he's just an asshole.
Watching it a few years, I was like, oh yeah, this didn't age well. He's just kind of emotionally abusive to women.
Speaking of Anna Faris, do you know a clip has been going around online? Is it from Scary Movie 2, 3?
Wait,
it's from Scary Movie 2 or 3 when she's talking to like the ghost kid from like.
Oh, is she saying all the racist Japanese things?
Why is that going around? People are like shocked.
Because that is not funny. We should not laugh at
it's
that.
It's a shocking thing for people to be sending around.
Yeah.
And I was all like, you shouldn't be playing that.
I know. But
take that Wolverine thing down. It's making me uncomfortable. I saw somebody, you know that meme from the old X-Men cartoon where it's Scott and Jean making out in the background and Wolverine looking sad in the foreground. Somebody replaced Wolverine's head with the head of that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Are we we're not doing things normally we would start right into X-Men comics, but we're doing things a little.
Are we doing a game segment next?
I think we're going to do a game segment. What do you think?
Let's hit it.
Hey, Fudge Packer, it's game time.
That's right. It's time for
What a
games. That's GAYMES. Woo!
Fudge Packer, you ready? You ready, Fudge Packer?
Fudge Packer. I kept wanting to say, I wanted to say, are we allowed to say this? I don't think
I don't know.
think
Am I allowed to wear this? Like, who? It's the Wild West. I have no idea.
I want to say faggot because I'm a
right. We can say faggot.
Can I just tell you, people are now, there's all these posts going because it's like Happy Pride, watch these gay shows. And they have Chucky up is like one of the things.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why is Chucky gay? And I'm like, because it's a gay, like the TV show is gay.
The kid is gender fluid and Chucky's okay with it.
I wrote, hey, the leads are gay in the new Chucky show. TikTok took it down for hate speech.
Because you said gay?
Because I said gay. And so then I appealed it. I'm like, they are gay. That's not a hate speech. And they said, nope, we decided it was hate speech. We're keeping it down. And then another video came up of someone else being like, what is this? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to say anything. And 4 people commented, oh, it's because the leads are gay.
And that's fine.
I think it's because they are straight people. I think they're like, I think it's Chinese homophobia.
Oh, absolutely. Ban it. Ban it.
But anyway.
Wasn't it banned? Anyway.
Yeah. No more TikTok soon. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to have to watch Instagram Reels. Ugh. Their algorithm is bogus.
We're here to talk about the hottest Krakoan hookups from the Krakoan era, are we not?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I like to think so.
I like to think so.
Yes.
So Krakoa's over, babe. We're going to be talking about the final issues of Krakoa like imminently, like this episode.
And this is going to be like, I feel like it's going to be a conservative backlash. Do you remember in Iran, they had democracy. Women were...
Remember that?
Women had their hair out. Everything was fine. It was great. And the next thing you know, women all in full burqas, everything. I feel like the open sexual fluidity of Krakoa is over.
Yeah.
I think we're going back to boring monogamy norms and monogamy.
Yeah. Boring heteronormative nonsense. But for a while, we had a pansexual paradise in Krakoa. All of our mutants, all of our X-Men were all fucking each other. All sort of norms went out the window.
Yes. And so we've decided to talk about who do we think would be some of
who
the
did
hottest,
who did, because they all did.
But also, who did? Yeah, whether it was like actually happened or not in the comic, because if we say it did, then it did.
Right, exactly.
All right. So, I mean, I think first we need to talk about the thing that really blew everyone's minds is we had
Jean,
Scott,
yes,
with a little bit of Emma on the side.
And did you know that Tom Brevoort recently just said there was no evidence that they were a throuple, and people were like, oh, see, to your point of the conservative backlash, he's the new editor-in-chief of X-Men, and he just said, no, they were never engaged in a throuple. Bitch.
So they all slept in the same bed. I have
the receipts. I have the diagram.
Why did they all sleep in the same bed?
There's even a panel in the backstory of Wolverine number 50 where it shows them something about love, and it shows the 3 of them.
Yeah. And what about that one other episode in Hellions where you don't realize it, where Sinister is doing his stuff with Psylocke and Greycrow, but in the back, you totally see Cyclops shoving a finger up Wolverine.
2 fingers. Yeah.
Two fingers.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I'll give you a snicked.
Yep. Right. Right.
But who else?
He said that's not an optic blast, but it's a blast.
Who else were okay, let's do some, like, who else do you want to give me, some established ones or controversial ones? Because I have some controversial ones.
I think let's start with an established. Like, I think the guy that has the record for probably the most hookups on Krakoa is surprisingly the most religious one. I think Nightcrawler, right? Nightcrawler, I believe, slept with every female entity on that island.
It's my Spark. Yeah, that's like cute.
Mein Gott, I'm drowning in pussy.
Yeah.
So that was controversial, but traditional.
I think we need to talk about the other one that's controversial. And I believe this is canon. And this is because this isn't only breaking rules of gender norms, but it is also breaking conventional norms. And I'm talking about I do believe that while Kyle was away,
Oh God.
North Star
Yes.
and Dakin and Aurora were in a throuple. That's right. I think there was some brother sister action. I don't think they were doing anything with each other, but I think it was happening at the same time. Is that too far?
They alternated so quickly that Dakin thought it was the same person.
Well, yeah, it's because it's just like, oh my God, can you imagine just like, all right, I came, all right, I came, all right, I came again. And Dakin's just like,
but he keeps healing.
Yeah.
He keeps healing. Yeah, that was controversial because of the incest.
Yes.
Another one is how Cypher and Bay, the Blood Moon, would always bring in a third.
Oh, who?
And probably the craziest third was when they brought in Rain Sinclair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She stopped in the middle of it and started crying, screaming. And then it was drama for hours afterwards. She had been drinking and she really just was like crying for hours. They never got to finish. They never came.
Yeah, and it's also because at one point Cypher was like, "Eat me like you did your dad," and then she was like, "That's like a bridge too far."
And Bay actually thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, "Why are you laughing?"
And then they reenacted him getting shot and murdered. How that like fucked her up, and they thought it would be king play. But
and Cypher just thought it was like funny. Anyway,
I have another one. The other Cypher.
Oh yeah,
it's actually
with an eye.
Cypher with an eye and Kitty Pryde.
Ghost sex. Ooh.
Ghost sex.
Ooh, it's like having sex with Gale in Baldur's Gate 3. Just
okay, so let's say if you were able to go into Krakoa as a mutant,
go in.
Who is going to be your main? Who are you running to have a threesome? It has
this
to be
is so easy. Okay. You know the Mutant Liberation Front? Forearm.
I didn't know you were into fisting. Oh my God. Okay, that's a lot.
Talk about getting blasted.
Okay, I think I want to have a threesome with Benjamin Deeds and Hindsight because I think they're together. But Benjamin Deeds could look like whoever I wanted him to look like.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, make the biceps a bit bigger, make your face look a little more like Ryan.
Oh, you would customize your character?
Customize.
You would not go with one of the preloads?
Yes. And then Hindsight, here's the thing you don't realize. As soon as Hindsight kisses me, he knows everything I like. Because he's he knows every single thing I like. He might take it too far because he might be like, "Oh, do you want me to choke you because you know of your issues with your dad?" And then I go, "Okay, I don't want to talk about that right now."
Right. And then I'd be like, "You know where his issue's from? Because I touched his wallet by accident the other day." And then probably the hottest hookup, was probably just. It was probably just, Dakin and anyone. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing for how to end the skip.
But who would you have the threesome with? You would go to Dakin?
Oh, so forearm and no, I mean I don't want. So like
forearm already a threesome because he has so many hands.
I need another one. I should get another one, and I would pick. I would probably pick one of the Proud Star brothers. One of the Proud Star brothers, and I don't know. I just want to be lost in like
incest in this segment.
I know, right? I want to be lost in like just a muscle mountain.
The other thing, though, is I want to talk about Proteus. Proteus, in the end, is a villain, and so sometimes I wonder. They never really showed what really went on with the Five. Sometimes I wonder if Proteus was having fun with some egg people.
Oh.
Like kind of like, hey, let's just resurrect another version of this person just so I can fuck him. And then we'll
just
get rid of them.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, this just got dark.
It just got dark. We should probably. This was supposed to be about pride and
instead
joy.
We're now talking about incest and snuff.
No, it got really, really strange. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We have a problem. All right. I'm sorry. I have a question for you. Are you watching the new Drag Race All Stars?
I'm 2 behind.
Oh, okay. So we shouldn't talk about that.
Why don't we? Go ahead. Okay. Surprise me.
What you watching? Is it me naked? No? Oh, fine.
You were just excited about playing that segment, so you're like, let me think of a TV show. Let me think of a TV show.
All Stars 9 All Stars, which is
Drag Queens Save the World.
I'm just curious of like, what do you think? It's an All Stars where it's all for charity and there's no eliminations. How do you feel about that?
I love that they're doing something for charity. I think you absolutely should do that. What with all of the eyeballs and draw that Drag Race has, like, yes. I do think personally for me, it's for some reason reduces the stakes, which is, I think, a horrible association to make in my head. It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah. I think in the end, the real thing that's happening is
would you change the thing? It's not hot as Krakoa and hookups anymore.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry. Oh, and
we weren't going to do a what you watching. There we go.
My thing is, I don't want them to only do this format. I understand why, because most established queens, the one we want to see in All Stars, are like, I don't want to spend $40,000-$50,000 on outfits and then I go home first and I totally like embarrass myself. I think that's a real fear for a lot of established queens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they're like,
because they have to go big throughout.
But it's also like, I already have a successful career. I don't want to go on here and tarnish that and ruin it. So they kind of need to have this no elimination thing to get the big queen names in. But I don't want them to just do this, because I would like to them alternate back and forth and then have redemption All Stars, where it's like queens that went home first, second, third, where they are like, just get me back on.
It feels like that's around the corner.
They'll fight for it.
Yeah. It feels like that.
What All Stars 6 was. It was a lot of people that went home early. I mean, there was also
interesting, but it wasn't officially.
Stuff,
yeah.
But it had a lot of people that you wouldn't necessarily be like, who? But it ended up being a really exciting season.
Yeah. So right now it feels like I'm 2 behind, but we're talking about this anyway, because I know who won 2 episodes ago. It was Got Mick, right? For the I saw the hands and the slicing.
Brilliant.
Oh my God. So brilliant. So brilliant. It seems like she's taking it this season, no?
I think with these, the way the last one went, I think they're going to spread the wealth out.
They have to. How could they? Can you imagine if one, and I'm so sorry, Trevor Project, you have received $0.
Oh, right. So I think they're going to spread the wins out. Everyone keeps talking about how Roxy Andrews is like, she's the queen, the legend. And she just never was.
She hasn't.
I think she was just so mean to Jinx in season 5 that I always held that against her.
I'll never let that go.
When she came back, Tatiana and Alyssa Edwards went home because the Relaska talks, they had the alliance. She should have gone home, but because she was in an alliance, Alaska wouldn't send her home. And so that always rubbed me the wrong way too.
So who won? Spoil it for me. Who won last time and what was the challenge?
It was a makeover challenge and they were in teams. They had to make over hot firemen.
Oh, really? See, I'll watch it anyway.
So it was, I mean, yeah, it was good. It was good. However, Alyssa Edwards and Vanjie won.
Wait, Alyssa Edwards? Roxy Andrews?
Roxy Andrews. I'm still bitter about. See, in my head, because I wanted Alyssa Edwards to stay. Alyssa Edwards is going to be in Global All Stars, so that's going to be
fun,
really interesting.
Ooh.
But I will say, whatchamacallit, but I really felt Plastique Tiara and her partner, who was Georges, they did like
Mhm.
like a hip hop Powerpuff Girls girl group,
Mhm.
and I loved it.
Oh,
And I will say this: Michelle always does this in makeover challenges. She's always like, and this happened in the last where she's like, I don't see the family resemblance that you're like in a girl group, or I don't see the
Yeah.
family resemblance. And it's
she
because,
does always do that.
but it's literally, and she loved Plain Jane.
Look harder.
But Plain Jane, it was like, they're wearing the exact same outfit.
Exact
She's
same
like,
outfit.
You guys have such a good family resemblance. They're wearing the exact same outfit.
Right.
And for some people where you're wearing, like, no girl group, everybody doesn't wear the exact same outfit.
Right. Look at the Spice Girls. They all had.
So they ended up using that as the reason not to give it to Plastique and Georges. But
They probably do have to come up with nonsensical reasons to not give it to a team, and that's like a go-to. That's one they love.
Maybe.
Family resemblance.
But in the end, it's still a fun show because they're fierce queens doing stuff.
Yeah.
Plastic Tiara.
It's a good roster. She's great. Ugh, so cute too.
Also, so hot as a guy.
Yeah.
So hot as a girl.
Oh God.
Such pristine drag. This last episode, when she was in as a boy, just had like a cut off midriff sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Was just running
Just
around.
giving abs. Yeah, I know.
So hot.
I know. Trade of the season.
Me and
one might say.
Okay. Sorry, just taking advantage of all my bells and whistles.
Bells and whistles?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we talk about them X-Men?
I think maybe we should talk about X-Men.
Let's do it.
It's mutants with powers, Omega for hours. Bitch, let's read some X-Men.
EvilJeff is surprising me with all of these segments, and they are I am overjoyed.
Going from X-Men 97 to the tail end, the end of the Krakoan age, which these were, there might be one extra book.
I think there's like a X-Men number 700. Yeah.
Like a post-mortem of like, where's everybody now?
Like a bridge.
Like a thing that sets up the new. I hate it.
Yeah. And so one more issue to address this, but are we leaving all of those mutants in the white hot room to eat sweet potatoes for the rest of their life? Like,
are we also leaving Quentin Quire is dead? Dakin is dead.
Well, no, Quentin Quire is on Scott's team. He's on the lineup of the X-Men.
So, but Hope is dead. So how are they resurrecting people?
Maybe you can't resurrect Hope because she's so special. But Quentin.
But then if that means there's only 4. Did the 5 leave the white hot room?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, hope maybe X-Men 700 will figure all that
we
out.
cannot leave those mutants in the white hot room, can we? Oh my God.
I don't know.
You can't do that.
I mean, I think it's their 98. Remember, it was like, there's only, was it 100?
Oh my God.
98. 100.
The 198.
The 198, where it's like, we need to there's too many mutants. Let's get rid of all of them.
All right. Well, let's talk about Fall of the House of X first, which is the one with basically the X-Men attacking Nimrod.
Yes, Fall of the House of X.
Perfect.
It's just, you're gonna tell me that in the end they're like, we just needed Storm to come, and Storm just was able to beat him. It's just
works for me.
I understand, but I don't know. It's just, and then they were like, because you're all connected, if I kill one, you all die. And I'm like, well, that was real stupid of Nimrod to do that.
I love how we all lamented that we didn't get the Omega Storm moment at the end of X-Men 97, but we got it here.
Yes. And I'm all for Storm showing up and kicking ass.
Yeah.
But it just makes me feel like she could have done this at the very beginning.
Of course. I also did love the magnetic reunion between Magneto and Polaris.
Oh yeah,
she was like, "Daddy, Daddy."
Yeah,
she was like, "Daddy," and then we have Psylocke do a service in giving us Karima back.
Yeah.
That was a
able
lot.
to actually fry the evil. Yeah. Which is, and I like, she was like, oh, I thought that would kill you. So it's not like she didn't know what she was doing.
Right.
And so we now have the old good Omega Sentinel is back, which
yeah, that's fun. We'll never use her again.
Maybe though, but maybe this is a good time to bring back what was the X-Men group when it was Omega Sentinel, Iceman, Mystique, Rogue, and Nightcrawler?
Yeah, the Supernovas one. I forget, was it Mike Carey? I forget who wrote.
Was it
yeah, when
Legacy?
Rogue led that team.
Was it Legacy? No.
No, it was Uncanny. They were the main.
Was Nightcrawler on that team too? No. Okay. I do want Rogue and Nightcrawler and Destiny and Mystique to all do like and Gambit to do some kind of like family.
I did enjoy. We'll get to the X-Men wedding issue. I really did enjoy that aspect of seeing them as a family like that. So yeah, Manifold saves everybody, but then Lactuca captures them and is like, no, Enigma's going to see you if you do this. So I'm going to protect you from Enigma really quick, which is great.
And basically they kill Nimrod. Orcus is down. Everything's saved. Krakoa is done. But they just have to get the final AI Nathaniel Essex Enigma Dominion.
Right.
Which Phoenix is going to fight.
And Xavier.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Xavier, where we leave him, Shadowcat and Ms. Marvel are looking for him and he hides himself from them. So he's still loose. That's another loose thread.
And as these things are being set up, which is also like he still murdered a bunch of humans to do this.
Sure.
But he knew all along that the X-Men kind of wouldn't go along with them and would save the day. And he had to betray everybody so that he could get to Moira for Phoenix to do her thing, which leaves us to the rise of the powers of X. We get Miss Phoenix.
Basically a book about Phoenix. And thankfully, we get to redefine what Phoenix is again. Now, Phoenix is the entirety of mutant kind. Okay.
Sure. I will say with all of this, because if you're just watching this because you're like gay people talking about comics, and this is your first time watching us, and then you're like, what are you talking about? If we were to sit there and try to explain what is going on in X-Men, it would take us 10 years. I think that's the thing. The downfall is it's got too complicated, especially with there's all the different Sinisters, and then there's the different timelines, and then there's the different Moiras, and then there's the different versions, and then there's the White Hot Room, and then there's the Enigma, and then there's the Dominions. And I know they were like, we had all these balls spinning, and we need to
since
bring
the beginning
them all together, but you can't bring all the balls together in like 3 issues. It was just too much for me.
No, you've got it. When you bring balls together, you've got to do it lightly, gently, meticulously, right?
Don't twist them.
No, balls are sensitive.
Are you into CBT?
No.
Cock and ball torture?
No.
I'm not either.
I can't even watch it.
I don't even like people to suck on my balls.
Oh my God. I don't even like the word ball.
Yeah. You prefer scrote?
Yeah. I prefer, coin purse.
Scrote.
Ew.
What'd you call it?
Coin purse?
That is the worst.
That's the worst. That's the worst. And when you said try to explain everything going on with X-Men in the past few years, how about just trying to explain everything that's been going on with the character of Phoenix? Oh my God. That's a 60-year explanation.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they're like, the Phoenix is Jean Grey. Well, except when she was Echo.
Except when she's not. Right.
Anyways,
it reignites the White Hot Room. Phoenix is reborn. She's like, and here we go again.
So Phoenix is reborn. She's like, I'm all powerful, but I am going to leave all of you in the White Hot Room.
Bye. Goodbye, friends. Nothing I can do.
Outside of time. So outside of time, where all the Dominions live, where the evil Enigma Dominion, which is a sinister AI clone. No, he's the original
Nathaniel Essex.
And
I have a bone to pick with certain detail in this book later, but we'll get there.
Anyway, he's like, hey, I'm going to call up all the other Dominions
Yeah, and they were like, we're going to roll up on this bitch.
And we're going to roll up on this bitch. And so then they show up and they're like,
they're like, psych.
Actually, psych, we aren't going to do that. Because we're Dominions, we actually don't care.
We are so above, like, we're literally like, we are above it incarnate. Okay, bitch. Like,
we don't give two shits. So
we don't care about fire, life, don't care.
And so then he's like, fine, bitch, let's fight. So it's Enigma versus Phoenix. And he's like, I'm going to go through time and try to erase you from becoming the Phoenix. But since she's outside the white hot room and outside of time, she's able to go to every point he does. And it's like, bob and weave, bob and weave. Oh, you think you're going to make me not join the X-Men? Ha, I'm going to join the X-Men. You think you're not going to make me do this? I'm still going to do it. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. He's like, oops, that chair dropped. And she's like, I'm picking it up. And he's like, oops, your pin number's different. She's like, I changed it back a long time ago, bitch. Like, it's just that tit for tat over and over. I'm sorry. The detail that I was going to bitch about, I got wrong. I thought everybody that he was affecting back in time had a diamond on their head. They don't. They have a crown on their head. I was going to be like, why is it a diamond?
Oh, that's right. Because the crown is the real...
The Enigma, the Nathaniel Essex of it all. Meanwhile, Xavier and Moira are back on that iconic bench. And he's just like, look, like, I put a thing in your head so that Phoenix can find Enigma, basically. But listen, we used to be friends. We used to be cool. Like, what happened? What happened to us?
And so after being like, you know what? I've been a maniacal, insane, crazy villain who's been living 1,000 years secretly wanting to destroy all mutants. You know what? You're right. I do want to be a good person.
You know what?
Huh?
Girl who's going to be okay.
What? I can understand this turn if they didn't make her crazy-eyed evil villain for like 3 years. What the fuck? And then
they had a fight. They had a fight. She was mad.
Can we get to this?
I can't believe you have that. I don't get it. I gave up in the middle. I was like, I don't get it. I don't.
Okay. So.
Oh my God.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. We have a thing of all of Moira's lives, all of the Moira engines, all of the sinister timelines, and everything happening outside of time and space with the fight in the white hot room, and then the fight between Enigma, and then there's Enigma everywhere trying to do everything. The thing I don't understand is we're on Moira's 10th life.
Yes.
You see that crown, which goes to the Phoenix Moira life. Because the next page, when you see Moira as a kid, she doesn't activate. Yes. It says that it is that timeline.
Yeah, Phoenix made that happen.
So is that now a separate timeline where Moira never becomes Moira, and that's a separate timeline outside where nothing ever happens? And
that's my read from this diagram, is that she just basically put Moira in her own little happy timeline where...
And so now the Moira now is just dead and gone.
Dead and gone.
All right.
So we're not going to have a Moira in our timeline.
Let's do an RIP of Moira McTaggart. And I will say the thing that mostly upsets me is I think this right after Grant, I mean, there's Chris Claremont's initial run, which is, amazing.
Yeah.
But then Grant Morrison is next with his run with E for Extinction. And then I would say the Krakoan era.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I do you think, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Who wrote it?
Jonathan Hickman.
Jonathan Hickman. Do you think Jonathan Hickman, I wish he would have stayed on to the end. I think they would have kept him, but I think he got bored. And I think they also were like, no, we want to do all these millions of things. And he's like, I kind of just want to end this. And they were like, no, we want to stretch it out longer. And so they stretched it out longer. And he's like, well, then I'm leaving. So they stretched it out longer. They made it bad. And then they're like, oh, we kind of made it bad. Can you come back and do this? The Wolverine, what were those? What was the whole thing where she turned into a robot? The lives and deaths of Wolverine? And
no, that was Inferno. Yeah.
And so they're like, can you write that real quick? And he's like, well, it's all kind of fucked, but here, I'll try.
Sure.
I just wish they let Hickman have it to the end.
Yeah. It's like you can't give creative control to like one person who doesn't work for your staff for that long. Like Marvel was like, they're ours, right?
Yeah, and I think it's like he would have, but they were like, but you have to play by our rules and we need to extend it out so we can make more money off of it. And I
Classic
think in the
Marvel.
end, I think there's just too many comics. We need to just limit. I would love for there just to be like 3 X-Men comics and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, there's going to be a lot, but a lot of them are solo titles.
Well, those are solo titles that'll just go for like 5 issues and then nothing will happen after that. I wouldn't mind that if you just have like, oh, here's a little special. It's like 5 issues. Fine.
That's what they're doing with Dazzler.
Yeah. What about Storm? Do you think that's
Storm? I feel like it's ongoing because there's like a whole like epic. It's like the trials of Storm. Like I think it's a long story, and then there's Phoenix.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be ongoing.
Is Wolverine continuing? It seemed like because this is Wolverine 50,
I think so.
that it seemed like it was ending.
It did, but it also felt like it was Krakoa ending. Was there a solicitation for 51?
Wolverine 1. Well, now they have Hellverine,
of course,
which I refuse to read. Did you read Hellverine? No. Okay, I didn't either. So if you want to be like, oh, I'm going to watch this episode to learn about Hellverine, too bad, because I could not give a fuck about Hellverine.
I couldn't give a fuck neither. I didn't even read it.
And then there's a Blood Moon, the Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt. Love it. I'm in love.
Wolverine.
I'm in love with anything Blood Hunt. Give it to me. Ow! Vampire.
And then there's this episode 50 of Wolverine, which was...
Let's talk about it. I also love that Phoenix killed Enigma with Wolverine claws. That was fun.
That was fun.
Oh, and then Xavier gets arrested.
Get back. Yeah, Xavier gets arrested, and then she ended up being like, actually, the Phoenix is all the mutants, so all the mutants' powers combined came and killed Enigma.
That's right.
And apparently he's constantly dying a million deaths.
So the tiger is Enigma?
I don't know.
In this diagram? The tiger, the eternal foe of the Phoenix, defeated, returns to skulk in darkness around the white hot room. Huh?
I guess maybe that is...
Enigma corpse fragments.
I don't know.
Where are those?
But you know what? Let's fucking talk about Wolverine.
Let's talk about Wolverine.
Wolverine is...
over!
It's over. And here it turns out they solved my problem, which is like, how is he not dying from adamantium poisoning?
He was like, the suit gives me my powers back,
the
bitch.
Suit was planned to give him his powers back. So it was all a plan. There was even a line where, what's her name? Necra? Is that her name?
Necra.
Necra's like, Sabretooth is back? Why did that fucking skull that Doug had, it didn't work? Why did we even do that? And I'm like, thank you.
Basically, the explanation was because Doug's a pussy, and anything he thinks is punishment, Sabretooth is like, that tickled.
And basically, they have a big battle. They all end up coming and stopping him, and they're all about to kill him, and then Wolverine's like, no, I'm going to kill him, just the 2 of us. And they're like, okay, fair.
He's like, we can make it if we try.
And then he just chops him up into a bunch of little pieces, and Sabretooth is dead.
He dismembered him.
Yeah, and he's like, this is for my son.
This is for Krakoa, and this is for my son, and this is for my other son.
And then, is it Phoebe or Mindy? Phoebe?
We love Phoebe.
Phoebe turns off Quentin Quire's head and lets him die.
I feel like Phoebe really grew in this arc.
Also, what were the powers she was doing? She was like, it looked like she was using telekinesis. She was like doing this thing to one of the Sentinels going like, wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a robot. You can't use like telepathy.
She can do what she wants. She's independent now.
Can they all turn to diamond? Has that happened? Have all the cuckoos turned to diamond?
I don't know. I feel like they have.
I can't remember.
No, they don't.
Anyway, Wolverine's over and good riddance. Okay. So.
Okay, bye.
But now we
have a wedding to talk about.
Lesbians getting married.
Lesbians getting married. X-Men wedding special, aka Be Gay, Do Crime.
Yes. I like that they did not shy away from, you know who's my hero in this? Anole.
Yeah, because he's like,
Anole is the whole time is like, she's a murderer. no, Brett froze. Look at this. Oh, you froze.
You froze too. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Edit that out. They're villains.
Yeah.
They're villains.
And
Can we
that's
stop?
my thing is, but he is like, are we all just celebrating your wedding because they're lesbians? Who cares? I was like,
Right.
hello, he's like me. He's like Miranda from Sex and the City.
Yes.
He is the Debbie Downer, and I can't wait for him. And if that's the character in the
in
new
NYX, oh my God, he's going to be like, it's 2 a.m, guys. We have to leave. It's late.
I also like that they finally brought up, because I feel like some people forgot. They forget to depict Destiny as blind. I legit think there are some comics where people forgot.
Where she's like looking right at people, talking to them.
Yeah. There was one where she was like sitting in front of a mirror, and I'm like, what is she doing?
Huh?
But then I was like, oh, I guess she's like looking at other people's visions of what she looked like. I'm not sure exactly how that works, because she doesn't use a cane. She can get around by seeing future perceptions of like her surroundings, right?
No, she should be blind.
But she doesn't use a cane. She just walks around and hits people and punches people. So she has kind of like a daredevil type.
I guess she's got a general awareness.
Yeah.
Also, though, let me tell you something. Yeah. If she was still old, this issue would never have happened. Think about that.
What are you talking about? If Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor work, so can Mystique.
Yeah, but there's never been a comic book about them.
Says you. This is it.
No, she's nice and young now, so they can marry. So then we've got a number of stories featuring LGBTQ characters.
What did you say? LGBTQ?
I said queer characters that are in the background of our favorite straight heroes.
Yes.
No, this was a lovely book. I shouldn't be. It's great.
No, I think it really balanced them being evil and also celebrating queerness. I really like it. Oh, I have a question. What was the present that Sinister gave Destiny and Mystique?
I would imagine it's the Mystique clone.
Oh, that happened later. Oh,
the decoy Mystique. So that, because when Mystique was then back at the Scarlet Witch's little headquarters stealing.
Oh my God.
The clone was the decoy.
We also see a Miss Betsy Braddock and Rachel Summers.
We have an adventure of
this
lesbians.
Like post-coital scene. She's like, I just love being.
Oh, she's like, I love your body.
I love your body so much. Like,
I love your body so much. I mean, granted, I bet Betsy has got a sick body. I bet Rachel's got a sick body.
Oh, and Betsy's like, oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
They're fucking, but it turns out they're not even on Earth. They're in another time dimension.
Yeah, they're like in an
another
Earth.
Captain Britain.
196.
And here's what I love. Who are they fighting? The fucking
TechNet! Yay!
And they acknowledge something. Someone did their homework, because she's like, who are you? And she's like, fucking ask fucking Rachel who I am, because Rachel
That's right.
them a million times in Excalibur,
love that.
So she knows who all of them are.
And I also love that Betsy did not.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And here's something that was confusing. It was like, you got hired by who, for what? It's Saturnine. And she's mad that she's not invited to the wedding.
I mean,
Why?
we're coming up with loose reasons to have these stories at best. I read this. I was like, Saturnine is mad she wasn't invited. Okay.
But for
why
what?
not?
Like, but why? Like, there had to be, like, if it was just like, because I was going to go there and then I had a plan and I was going to do this. Like, you just like wanted to be at the wedding of these two lesbians.
Is it like the X-Men villain event of the century?
Maybe they should have had more villains show up. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then we have got Wolverine takes out all the little gay kids.
Has Pixie always been bi?
I don't know, but Bling wants to eat her out real bad.
And Bling is with
Mercury,
which also, that sex Bling and Mercury, that sex is literally like
It's
like a fucking like chemistry lab. Like but she's like, we're open and I want to do you. I'm like, shit.
I think the bigger surprise is Indra. I never knew Indra to be a gay character. Indra, one of the
established somewhere that he was bi. I think there was a previous comic that said he was bi. But I do think it's funny that Wolverine's like, I need to buy a present for lesbians. Hey, you're all a bunch of faggots and bull daggers.
Hey, faggots, you know what faggots like, right?
Yeah, what should I get them? And then the whole time, Anole's like, she's a fucking murderer. Stop it. And what does he get? What's the t-shirt that he gets? Oh, it says bisexual menace.
It's fantastic.
That's brilliant. Who wrote this one? This was my favorite one.
Who was this?
It doesn't say.
It's Tate Brombaugh.
Tate?
Yeah.
I liked it. In the end, he gets her a gun. They go through
wait.
Like, what?
You know who wrote the TechNet one is Teenie Howard. You know, favorite of Alan Morrick's Gallup. Yeah.
Teenie Howard literally owns Otherworld.
Literally.
And Captain Britain.
Literally.
Yeah.
Speaking of literally, next is the Emma Frost story, and I'm gagged, girl. I'm gagged.
Because in the end, she basically gives them a psychic counseling session where they have to kind of relive the moments of what Mystique went through when Destiny was dead. And I didn't realize that. They show it later when she throws the ashes out.
Yeah. From X Factor Annual.
From all of that, it's clear they're lovers. Like
even back then, back
then, it's like they're lovers. And we even at the end of this have an interview with Chris Claremont where he's like, no, they were totally lovers.
Always. One thing I loved about this is that it calls back the fact that Emma Frost, as we know, is a fencer, knows how to fence.
That's right. How do you say that word? EpiPen?
I think it's epi. Yeah,
or epee.
I've only seen it in crosswords. I don't know.
Saber and foil.
Epi.
Those are easy to
foil.
say.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
so she's fencing telepathically, of course.
And
she's not she.
Yeah. And it turns out it's Loki. It was Loki all along. Okay, little non-binary Loki.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. If you're going to do drag of anybody, you're going to fucking do Emma Frost.
Oh, absolutely. Look at that fur collar. Yeah. Faux fur.
Yeah.
So then she's like, I caught you impersonating me. Don't ever do that again. And then they get into a fight about who are you to talk about relationships? And he's like, it takes one to know one. I recognize love when I see it. Do you? And he shows her Jean. And she has no words. She's gooped.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
basically because it's how you really love your ultimate rival, your main rival.
Yes. This is the first time there's ever been explicit Emma Frost is queer anything. She's always been a straight woman. Sexy.
I will disagree. I guess it is the pride issue, so you're supposed to read into that. I don't think she wants to fuck Jean. I think it's more of a sisterly love. Like he has a brotherly love to Thor.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't want to fuck Thor.
You're right.
I think it's sisterly love.
I want her to be gay.
I 100% think that she has let Kitty Pryde eat her box out, though. Speaking of the new gay couple coming, Magic and Kitty, we think that's happening?
Absolutely. They said there's a special relationship between one character on Scott's team and one character in Emma's book. Let's go.
And then we have Rogue and Gambit, and it's just a sweet thing of her talking to Destiny and how she's like, I had to bite my tongue because I've known the entire time that you were going to end up with this asshole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they're talking about, she's like, oh, and it's so hard. Remy just loves me so much. He's just always saying how much he loves me. He even wrote me a song. And he's always fucking me. And he's always saying
this story did not belong in this issue. I don't need to see this straight nonsense. I don't care if it's my favorite straight couple on the planet.
Yeah. But then we get
why is Storm a bridesmaid in this wedding? What is happening? Saturnine, Storm?
Yeah, it's just that we need to have Storm in there somewhere. Yeah. Well, I mean, Destiny, it's not like Destiny had a lot of other female friends. The thing that's fucked up is that Mystique was on the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Wanda. And I wish they had more interaction of her with the Scarlet Witch. Because I think it's funny that in the end, the wedding was just a ruse for them to rob
the Scarlet Witch. I knew there was going to be a twist, a tilt. Like this was all for a reason. I loved that. I also love that Chris Claremont is in the audience of the wedding.
Oh, that's sweet. They also established that this is their second marriage, that they actually got married, which looks like on Myrrh Isle right before she died.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess, is that something that was
is like a retcon?
Or has that been established previously?
No. Oh, I don't know. It was new information to me. I was like, oh, what a nice touch. They married right before Legion killed her.
And the other funny thing is the fact that they could have just had her get married to the clone while she was robbing them and then go off and then ha ha ha.
No. That's why it's BGG
I'm
crime.
I'm not going to marry them because we're robbing you.
So dramatic.
So dramatic and over the top. I love it.
And then they're like, hurry up, marry us. And Kurt's like, okay, blah, 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 blah.
And then he's just like, I don't know if I like this. Oh, that your parents are murderers? You need to fucking get when you really look into all the shit that they've done, you're going to have to really come to terms with the bullshit that
you have to come to Jesus.
Especially because everyone's like, oh, Destiny's not that bad. No.
Oh, she's worse.
Destiny is way more.
Oh, she is worse.
Mystique might have more blood on her hands, literally, but Destiny's the one being like, go fucking kill
pulls
that
the
person,
strings.
Go kill that person, go kill that person.
That's right. That's right.
But
these bitches.
This wasn't the only Pride thing that happened.
There was another one.
Us to our next segment.
I read a DC comic.
Ew.
Oh no. Ew, I read a DC comic.
Ew. Pride 2024 issue.
People.
Ew. It's so faggoty.
My God, this is the problem. God. It's been so long since I read DC. When we first started doing this podcast, we did I read a DC comic, so I was a little more up to date with things.
We don't know who the fuck these people are.
They're not even saying names. I'm like, who is this?
Well, here's one little
who is this? So I'm looking around of typing, and it's like, you are this person, you're this person.
It's like tying into mainstream DC comics. I'm like, no, I don't need prior knowledge of a current plot happening in DC Comics to read my cute little queer story, but I do.
Yeah.
But as always, again, I do feel like DC has kind of edged out Marvel in a feeling of true celebration and authenticity a little bit.
Oh, because I think the problem is the Marvel one was all just about a lesbian wedding. And they're like, that's good enough.
That's good enough. And there's a story about a straight couple in there, but you love them.
I will say this one, it has the sections are separated into the colors of the flag: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Yeah. I like that.
It's more thoughtful.
And it's going through here's a story representing bi people, here's gays, here's lesbians, here's trans people.
It's more, DC's Pride issue is always more thoughtful than Marvel's. Period.
Yes. That being said, there is also a lot of stuff, though. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, and I don't care.
Yeah. So this first story is by Al Ewing, and there's some amazing concepts in there because he's the most brilliant writer ever. And recently came out very publicly as bisexual, 2 years ago.
Al Ewing.
So this felt very personal, especially the way he speaks about bisexuality through this character who I've never heard of.
This is clearly
Starman.
This is by someone who's bisexual, where they're like, why aren't you pansexual? That makes you transphobic.
Right.
Because a lot of bisexual people are like, I'm open to anything.
He said this was the word
bisexual.
Yeah, this was the word I learned when I learned about the concept,
And also, this art is really good.
The art's gorgeous in this Starman. The villain's sexy. It's a leather daddy villain.
Cal,
yeah.
He's so fucking hot. And they go off on a battle together, and it turns out he just set the whole battle up. And then he's like, why did you do this? And he's like, I don't know. I just kind of like wanted to like.
Even hotter is that this is a race, an alien race of people who are turned on by conquering one another.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they fuck. And then the drawings are really hot. So this one I was like, all right.
Them in bed together. I like showed it to my husband. I was like, okay, DC, you don't see this in Marvel.
And then the next one we have
it's Aquaman.
Aqualad.
Jackson Hyde, right?
Aqualad?
I think he used to be Aqualad, but he like takes the name Aquaman now.
Oh, is the other Aquaman dead?
No, they both are Aquaman. It's kind of like Wolverine. Yeah.
Anyway, he's dating some dude who I thought was a girl at first.
This actually, there was a story about them in the last DC Pride, or like 2 DC Prides ago, about them becoming a couple.
Right. This one, I don't know.
This one was too, the art was very juvenile, and I was having trouble following the story of how like New Genesis tied in.
Like you're like, oh, here New Genesis is now Krakoa. It looked like very Krakoa-y.
Yeah, they're going for like a whole
world, and it's like everybody's fucking everybody, and gender doesn't matter.
It actually ended with like, to see this writer's new vision of New Genesis. Read this book. Yeah. Read the YA novel Barda.
And then he officially became boyfriends with his love.
Yay.
And then the next one we have Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
And Janet from HR. Is that a person I should know who that is? But basically, Poison Ivy goes to this place to get these special magic mushrooms. Then there's like evil MAGA people saying, we hate the queers.
I love these like Bible thumping Pride Parade people.
And then she just blows the mushrooms on them and kills them. That's the crazy thing is the end. She's like, yeah, they're going to trip and then they're going to die.
And then they're going to die.
The very end and then they're going to die. And I was like,
loved it. Favorite ending. Favorite ending.
That was great.
She's like, but I gave them 30 times the safe dosage. They're going to see a lot of things, wonderful, terrible things. And then they're going to die screaming. The end.
Yeah. Then we have one where it's Raven invites Steel.
I liked this one.
To a party with, what's the...
C-13, who's like a young magician DC character.
She's a young magician. I was like, this is such an Ironheart ripoff. But then I go and look it up. Steel has been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like fucking Apocalypse and Darkseid all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
Where you're like, you think like, okay, DC copycat, and
or
like,
Thanos. Thanos and Darkseid.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thanos and Darkseid. And I'm like, oh, whoops, no. And this is basically just lesbians fighting, which
that's why I liked it.
That's fun.
That's fun.
This
one was so
with John
cute.
Constantine.
That's his boyfriend, Jay Nakamura, who has invisibility and phasing powers.
Hot. So he's Cypher.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And they're with, and this was very anime. This was very Scott Pilgrim. What's the word I'm looking for? You know these words better than I do. Anyway, manga. Cartoony.
Manga? Sure. And then we have one where it's the guy who calls a phone. Isn't that who this is? The guy who picks up the phone. Isn't that one of the characters?
Dial H for Hero?
Miguel.
No, it's Miguel is Bunker, who is a Teen Titan who has like, he can form these like pink bricks around him. Like he create these like pink bricks and form shapes with them.
So I looked up every single Latino.
Bunker came out a while ago.
And I found one where the guy who's gay, but then.
Bunker was gay. He came out as a gay character when he was created. Okay. And then the Ray was recently turned gay. Like the Ray has been around forever.
He was turned gay.
I mean, well, they outed the Ray. The Ray is now a homosexual. Jean Grey. Oh.
Seeing too many Henry Cavill fixing his computer memes.
Listen, girl, I have tea about Henry Cavill.
What, that he's... No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
From who? Someone that hooked up with him?
No, a girl.
What is she's like? He can't get it up, so he must be gay.
No. She just said she's heard.
That doesn't mean anything. Oh no, Brett, you froze again.
There I'm back.
There you go. But you froze like you were in a perfect position.
Confirmation.
But how
This
did
was
he turn
cute.
gay? Or is it
I don't
just
know.
like he was always gay? And
Sure. I have no idea. I don't know the history of the Ray, but I know that the Ray was like a character in the 80s, and he for sure wasn't a
it
gay
just looks
character
like
then.
young 20-year-olds going out being gay on Pride, and that makes me that triggers me.
I know it triggers me too, but Superman looks so sexy, and I know he's a cartoon, but
which one is this? Is Superman's son? Is the one who's
this is John Kent. Yeah, but he's not Superboy. He's Superman.
He's just like the other one. Oh, Jesus Christ! So like Aquaman is not Aqualad,
right?
Why don't they call him Super Slay?
It's like they're like, okay, like MAGA traditional incel people, you get one, the traditional one, but now like new generations who everyone identifies as queer, you get one.
Bi? Or is he gay? I think he's gay, right?
I don't know.
And is he dating this little pink-haired dude?
Yes, they are like a couple in the comics.
Who's the bottom? Do they know who's the bottom? Who's the top?
I think the invisibility one is. Yeah.
Is the
because he's like there's a whole issue. There's one whole issue of Superman, and like I believe this Superman had his own book, and there was one whole issue where it was called "You Can't Find My Hole," and it was just Jay, the boyfriend, invisible, just like fucking with John Kent, going, "You can't find my hole, you can't find my hole," and he uses like super speed to find his hole, like X-ray vision to find it.
You're making this up.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to believe you so bad. What was next? Oh, then we have the trans character that's based off of
Dreamer,
Supergirl. She started
Dreamer
on Supergirl,
started on TV. Yeah, and it was played by Nicole Maines, who wrote this. Nicole Maines was on Yellow Jackets. Did you watch Yellow Jackets all the way through?
No, I didn't.
Okay, Nicole Maines was on Yellow Jackets for a while. But yeah, she played Dreamer on like Legends of Tomorrow or Supergirl, whatever it was.
She seems like a cool character. I love a precog.
Yeah, fun powers.
And
then we got this really confusing story about, what is it? Cement Man? Who is he? Circuit Breaker.
Yeah, I had no idea what
was happening.
So
and then there was like some preview to like a young Poison Ivy and Harley thing that I don't care about.
Yeah, so it's just like, I'm going to call you Harley. I'll call you Ivy. I'm like, what is this?
What is this? Are they okay? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I think it's almost like it's reminding me.
It's another YA graphic novel.
X-Men.
It's a YA graphic novel.
Okay.
And then finally we've got the Phil Jimenez kind of autobiographical, kind of like in the spirit of the guy that does the voice of Batman. He did a whole like autobiographical thing in the last DC Pride issue. What's his name? Kevin Conroy.
And him, basically how he wanted to be Wonder Woman. Like us all.
Phil Jimenez, yeah. Wanted to be, and he drew. He's like one of the iconic Wonder Woman artists. So this is pretty cool. I see him all the time here, by the way. I see Phil Jimenez.
Oh, he lives in New York?
Everywhere I go. Yeah, I talked to him at a bar once, and then the next time he saw me, he talked to me, and I was like,
"Oh." Were you obsessed with Wonder Woman? Did you watch the Wonder Woman TV show? We're old.
Oh, absolutely.
We're old. I was obsessed with it, and I would.
Me too. I would spin.
When I would play, I would either spin and magically turn into Wonder Woman, or I would take a broom and fly around like the Wicked Witch of the West. Those were my two things that I would want to play.
I would blow in the air like Storm.
Like, you are homo.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Wonder Woman. DC. I can't believe we just talked about DC.
For so long, but with pride. DC Pride always kills it. Always.
Well, I guess that's it.
I think that's it for today, folks.
Pride. So the next couple of weeks, it's going to be Pride. And I'm going to try and find my pride. You know why? I'm just going to keep getting fucked and fucked and fucked until I find my pride.
I'm partying this Pride. I'm keeping a Pride journal. I'm keeping track of every gay fun thing we do. We went out last night. We went to a tea. We went to a Saturday tea yesterday, and I think we might go to the Eagle after this.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's a school night.
Maybe I will. Maybe I need to go out or something. Maybe I need to go out and do something.
Go to the Eagle.
I didn't do anything this weekend, and there was a Pride stuff going on, and I didn't do any of it.
Go get your Pride, girl. Go find your Pride.
Yay.
Find your. Oh, I have a recommendation. You could always read a comic book.
But I've heard some things that what happens to you if you read a comic.
Yeah, I'm saying no. If you read comics, well, then that makes you queer. Bye.
Bye.
Shazam.